All right, so before I put this food away, I just got a bunch of fruit, got apples, got nectarines, I got a bunch of bananas, I got a bunch of cherries, got spinach, got some watermelon, and there's a lot of fruit here. And a lot of people, which this is understandable, but if people want to anti-age, if people want to be an elite level human being, which most people don't, but if people want to, they need to know what it takes. And people have a hard time because it's not their fault. The opposite is being told, especially right now in several fads. The opposite is being told to what I'm going to say. And people have a hard time understanding that fruit is food. Like, they don't think of fruit as food. They think of fruit as like snacks. So a lot of people think fruit is bad for you. Like I think fruit is bad for your body. And those people are just gonna. I can't do anything for those people. But it's a fad right now. It's been a fad for a while, but there's a lot of there's a lot of frauds out there. Let me just say it like that. Let me just say it the way it is. There's a lot of frauds who are part of businesses who are marketing diets to people. And I mean, there's one I'm thinking of in particular that it's amazing that people follow this kid. Like, dad bods and soccer moms follow this kid who's at 30 at most on steroids. He's on steroids. They don't notice he's on steroids. They don't notice that he's a front man of something really big, that he's just an actor. He's a good speaker who can articulate things well. And the advice that they're telling people is absolutely horrible. And he acts like he didn't get his body from eating that way. He doesn't eat that way. He doesn't even eat that way. And he got his body from massive amounts of drugs for a long period of time. And to look like a good on the beach, he has to be on drugs. And no matter how he eats, is just regardless to what it doesn't matter, because the drugs make him look the way he looks. And I mean, I'm not trying to rant on the kid, but it's not him. It's the whole movement. It's like, wow, people fall for this, and they're more like, here you go. Here goes your fruit for the week, right here. Now drink coffee in the morning for breakfast with butter in it, and go as long as possible. Tweak out on coffee and butter as long as you can stand it, and then have some fat bombs or whatever the hell. It's insane, man. So if you want to be elite and you want to be an anti-ager for reals, then you're gonna listen to the stuff that I say, because this is absolutely priceless information that I'm putting out there for people. For the time being, I'm almost done doing it. I'm not gonna be doing it for very much longer. So, and also, well, I'll say this later. I'll say it right now. I said it in another video. I don't think I put it up. All my one-on-one stuff is already tripled. I'm quadrupling it. I'm doing even more levels and whatever. I don't know what's above quadruple, but everything's going to go up so high that I can only deal with people that are a very small amount of people that are extremely dedicated to being an elite human being, that understand what I'm providing for them is adding 20, 30, 40, 50 years, high quality years to their life, and they're dedicated to it. And it's going to be, that's where I'm going with it. All the free stuff, it's all great. I needed to do it. I wanted to do it. I wanted to pay money. I paid thousands of dollars giving books away, running ads, giving books away, running ads for videos, sharing information, thousands of dollars already. That's my part to the world, and I'm done with that. So everything is prices are going up on everything they already have. Free stuff is going to be, well, the books and stuff will be free. But, as far as My time being free, that's not going to happen anymore. I gave hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of free hours, hundreds of them, and I stopped what I do to make money for months. So I didn't only pay money, I went backwards in what I do to make money, so that way I can dedicate some time to giving people information that they're never going to get. They're not going to get it from the anybody on freaking YouTube. This stuff is, what I'm talking about is elitist level. It's being an elite human being. It's way too sophisticated for the internet, way too sophisticated for YouTube and Facebook and stuff like that. I mean, people are, they're more looking for entertainment and in various ways, you know. But when they get their health information from people, they want that bar to be set below average. The best stuff that's out there is the bar is below average. So that way people can go, hey, I can do that, right? People, you know, hey, I want to aspire to be below average because they're so far even below that. Well, I'm telling people what the perfection bar is, the anti-aging bar, the bar that actually adds decades to your life. I'm telling people, hey, this is what the bar is. Now, whether or not you can do it or whether or not you want to do it, that's a different thing. But I only want to deal with people that are dedicated for their life. It's not 1 week, it's not 1 month, it's not 1 year, it's not 10 years, it's not 20 years. It's life, and it's Groundhog's Day. Every day you have to do the same thing over and over, and you have to live it, and you have to change not just your diet. It's a perfection of diet, perfection of lifestyle, perfection of mindset. That's how you anti-age. Now, the fourth one is the byproduct of perfecting the three, and that is your exercise, your training, all the things that you do that you should be doing that make you, you know, that makes those other three better. But that's a byproduct. They all work in unison. In our world, people want to fix bad diet, lifestyle, and mindset with what they think is exercise, training, working out, whatever that may be. And even that, they're getting that wrong for everything. For the men, the testosterone stuff having to do with training, wrong. Some stuff it's common sense, but the majority of it, wrong. The diet for men, for testosterone, the majority of it, wrong. Backwards. So, you know, I've put years into trying to understand, trying to get to the level to where, hey, you know what? I put the puzzle pieces together and I understand what it takes to be an elite human being and anti-age and add decades to my life. And I chose to dedicate my life to it, to myself. It's about me. Everyone has to be about them. I can't be focused on other people like I'm focused on me. I can get paid to help other people, but I can't like do stuff for people. Okay? So when it comes to fruit, man, period, you have to think of fruit as food and think of fruit as meals. Fruit, and always add salt. Always add salt to if you're eating unprocessed, always add salt. So a lot of people, they think of like, oh, you know, fruit, snack, right? 1, maybe 2 bananas, maybe a little handful of cherries, maybe. And anything more than that, they think that they're now doing damage to themselves, right? But fruit is the biggest bang for your buck when it comes to anything that you put in any calorie that you put into your mouth to use as fuel. Fruit is the biggest bang for your buck. Micronutrient wise, fruit is where the majority of your micronutrients are going to come from, which, to be an elite level human being and to anti-age, when you think anti-aging, think of fruit, think of micronutrients. Anti-aging is in micronutrients. It's not in calories, or as they like to say on the internet, macros, right? I don't say macros, but people on the internet, they're talking about macros. They're obsessed with calories and macros, right? and counting them and trying to eat less of them and less of them. And they don't know, they're not paying attention to the micronutrients that they're deficient in. And they think, well, I could just take a supplement or blah, blah, blah. But it's not the same. The best source of micronutrients comes in your fruits and your vegetables. Vegetables too, but more importantly, fruits. Vegetables too. But if you eat a ton of fruit, you could be fine just eating spinach. You could actually eat enough fruit to where you don't even need any vegetables. But I would not ever tell anyone to do that, because vegetables it's like insurance, man. It's like extra, and they're good for you. There's gonna be a lot of good stuff in a wide variety of vegetables, not just spinach, but that's like an easy thing that tastes like nothing that anyone should be able to eat. And you eat it with your hands. You don't need to make a salad, and you don't need to do that. You put it in a bowl. Look, you watch my Instagram, you see how I show those pictures? I do that for people. People like to see that. I get my bowl and I go and I pour my spinach in there. When I cook my rice and my eggs, I take a bite of that, and then I get a handful of spinach and I go, and I eat, and I take another bite, and then I eat more spinach. That's how you're supposed to eat. Everything doesn't have to be plated and look a certain way, and you have to have this dressing on there. That's what kills anything good that you're doing, adding the condiments and stuff. But some people, man, they have a hard time with this stuff. And this is if you can't do this, you can't do anything. If you can't do this, you can't do anything. This is the beginning. The diet is the first domino. It has to be perfected. 100% unprocessed foods has to be the bar. Like some people, well, when can I have a cheat? There's no such thing as a cheat anything. You could do it, but that's not. You now have no chance at anti-aging. You're setting your bar down for closer. If you follow 25% of the stuff that I say, your bar will be above average. It will be above what is out there, but it's still not good enough. It's not good enough. So fruit has to be a staple. This is my personal belief. For me, fruit is 60 to 80% of my calories. I do not think everyone needs to eat 60 to 80% of their calories coming from fruit. But for me, 60 to 80% of my total calories, which is by instinct at this point, I think everyone should count their calories to figure out what they're doing, what they're eating, where micronutrient-wise too. That's the most important thing. What micronutrients you're getting from what foods. But 60 to 80% of my calories every day come from fruit. That's how I run. I run best on that. I personally believe every human being would only benefit if 40%, let's just say 40, I would like to say 50, but let's say 40% of total calories every single day, Groundhog's Day, not combined in one day, and then I eat fruit one day, and then I eat crap 6 days of the week, or I eat this much fruit in this, Monday through Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday I eat junk. That's what people want to do, but every day it's Groundhog's Day. You start over. You erase the board and you start over every day. 40% total calories from fruit. Now, the other 60%, that's minimum. The other 60% are coming from unprocessed foods. This does not mean other 60% come from processed garbage. Unprocessed foods, 100%. Bread is processed. There's people that what about this? And it's a bread. Bread is processed. I'm talking unprocessed foods. Now, in my book, the focus of anti-aging is micronutrient balance and hormone balance. That's where anti-aging starts. So when you eat for hormone balance and when you eat for micronutrient balance, that makes it easy for everything else, the macros, all that falls into place. What, your protein, your all that will fall into place. You don't even have to worry about protein when you're eating for hormone balance, because when you're setting the bar at perfection for everything, you're going now, okay, what are hormones? Okay, what are we, fats, right? So what are the best sources of that for hormone balance? So that eliminates a lot of thinking about other things. So you just think of the best source. Like, well, I don't want to do that. Well, then go to the next best source, but know what the best source is of, So that's, people don't have to do it. Let me say this again. People don't have to do it, but they need to understand that's where the chance at any type of anti-aging is. It's elite. It's not down near average. It's nowhere near even above average. It's elite in the clouds. It's in the heavens. Every day it has to be this way. So when you eat for hormone balance and micronutrient balance, well, those are your main things that you focus on. Everything else falls into play. So So when it comes to, as far, let me just stay with fruit here, because otherwise I'll just talk about everything. I don't stay on subject. Because it's all the same to me. So I will just go off and start talking about all these other little things, and then I confuse people. But I want to stick to fruit with this, because people tell me most people, and I'm ready for this, I understand this, but they think of fruit as a banana or two in between a meal, and fruit is meals. It's food. It's the most important food you're going to eat. This is where anti-aging is. This is where age reversal is. It's in these types of food, man. This is where it is. And this too. But this is insurance. That's not a staple. This right here, these are staples, man. And everyone would benefit. Even if people ate 40% calories from fruit, and let's say they ate whatever they wanted with the 60%, they would still benefit from the fruit, because they're getting the best source of micro. Now we can go into the fruit, the quality of fruit in our world, but what can we do? Right? Can you get organic? Okay, get organic. Do you believe in organic? You got to believe in organic first of all. Do your research on that. Whether organic, the micronutrients, you're getting better if you believe in that, go that route if you can afford it. If you can't afford it, still go the other route and just get fruit. But try to get the best quality you can, obviously. But that's a whole different subject, man. We can't do anything about that, about the quality of our fruit and the soil and all that. I mean, grow your own, right? Grow your own. So that's the only thing you can do, and that's going to be very expensive too, because you're going to have to. It's going to be very expensive to grow your own fruit. In our world, unfortunately, I wish it was not like this, but 40% minimum. If people ate whatever they want, they'd benefit, because micronutrient wise, they're getting the highest quality, which is higher quality of micronutrients coming from fruit is higher quality than coming from a pill. That's the next, that's something people do, and that could be used as insurance too if it's needed. Not all supplements should be taken, and a lot of supplements are dangerous. They're dangerous for people to take when they don't need them. A lot of them are. So people need to be careful taking vitamins, because there's a lot of vitamins, especially fat soluble vitamins, that are actually dangerous if you're not deficient in it. Like, there's a lot of them. So people take vitamin E, like, oh, vitamin E, and that's dangerous to take if you don't need it. So let me finish this up here, so that way I can put this away and I can eat my food. But micronutrient wise, Your best source is going to be from your fruits and your vegetables, especially your fruits. And your fruits also have your fuel to come along with it. So 40% minimum. I'm 60 to 80% from fruit calories. Everything else in that other 20 to 40%, everything else is balanced. My hormones are balanced. I eat how much fat that I need. And my body tells me, I do everything instinctively now. My body tells me what I need. Hormonally, we don't need, some people might need a little more fat than others, but hormonally, we don't need as much fat as what's being put out there is crazy, man. And it's not even, they're trying to say use fat as fuel. But if you're a guy watching this and you're interested in the testosterone side of it, that's all wrong too. It's all wrong. And a lot of the people that are pushing that stuff, if they're middle-aged guys, they're taking synthetic testosterone on top of it, talking about what a man's diet is and what a man's training is, and all of them are on stuff to still have, you know, to just have like average testosterone levels. It's wrong. And you know, there's no way I'm gonna be able to get out to everyone to tell people the way it really is. But you know, the few people that get a chance to see the stuff that I say, man, and read the stuff that I've put out there, you know, it's priceless what they're getting their hands on, because they're never going to have anyone tell them any of that stuff ever again in their life. And hopefully they apply it. Hopefully they apply it properly. If you just dabble in it, you have no chance. This is elite. I am an elite level human being. I think of myself as an elite human being. This is what this is about. I'm sharing it with people. You know, most people don't want to do that, and they don't understand the level that the stuff is on. And you know, they're just used to getting excited about something and doing this and doing that, and you know, eating processed foods and running on coffee, and you know, oh, I go to the store and okay, I'll buy me whatever. I'll buy me this little bar. You know, I used to be one of those people. I was one of those people for years, for most of my life, man. I know what it's like. You have to have an overhaul in your life. You have to have that moment where it's just like, okay, I'm changing everything. And doesn't mean that, you know, below average, a little bit above average. If you're below average, you're still, to some people, you might seem like you're elite, depending on what your genetics are, because people look at what people look like. That's why people fall for that, you know, I'm not going to say his name, but people fall for that kid who's on steroids, clearly on steroids. And talking about eating a certain way that he clearly doesn't eat. and he's like talking to middle-aged dad bods and soccer moms that are falling for it. I mean, who cares if the young kids are falling for it? Whatever. Who cares about them? But the older people, you know, they're in their 40s and above. If they're falling for what he's saying, it's like it's sad, man. It's completely wrong what the information that they're trying to give people, and it's all just to get people excited about following a new fad. And you know, for some of them, it might help them if they're eating really, 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 really bad. Like if they're just like eating nothing but fast food and junk, and you know, obviously, anything that involves real food is going to be better. But they're anti this right here, man. They're fat, you know, with all the fasting stuff, and people don't need to be doing any of that stuff. People do not need to be doing any of that stuff. You do not need to be fasting unless you got something wrong with you that you need to be fasting for. And you need to be monitored by professionals, not going on the internet, getting it from somebody that's telling you on the internet. And this stuff it's crazy the way it is, man. So there's, you know, there's all these intermittent fasting things mixed with the internet keto is what I call it, because it's not real keto, thank God. Because if it's real keto, You know, people could die, but it's mostly like just low carb, which why would anyone? I get it because they think of carbs, they don't think of this as carbs. They think of carbs whenever they're thinking of carbs and wanting to eat carbs, it's stuff, it's bad carbs. It's pastas, it's breads, it's stuff like that. Okay, but the bad fats that go along with it too. And then they still, you know, they'll try to find ways to get junk, but as long as it doesn't have carbs and sugars and stuff like that, right? They'll eat stuff like that. That's where all the fat bombs and stuff comes from. Try to make it taste like it's junk food, and well, there's no sugar, there's no, yeah, but does your body only needs so much fat hormonally for hormone balance. Your body does not want to use that fat as fuel. Your body wants to use this right here as fuel. And guess what? It comes with the best source of micronutrients that there is. Fruit is the main staple in an anti-aging diet. Fruit it's the main calorie. Now, I said 40%, that's for someone who eats 1 or 2 bananas every other day. That's for somebody who's scared. But really, like I said, I eat 60 to 80% of my calories every single day from fruit. And with salt, always salt. That's another thing. I've talked about that before. People, they're scared of salt. If you're eating unprocessed foods, you will not meet sodium requirements. You will not even meet 2,500 milligrams of sodium, which is a minimum. I'm way above 2,500 milligrams with my lifestyle. So you will not meet that if you eat unprocessed food. Let's say you're like, hey, I can eat unprocessed foods, but I don't want to salt my food. You will not meet, unless you're eating like pounds and pounds of celery or something. You're not gonna meet your sodium requirements, and sodium is essential. It's essential for thriving in life. Sodium is essential. I salt every single thing that I eat, every single thing, and I eat a lot of sodium. So let me wrap this up. Eat fruit, minimum 40%. If you're scared, it should be above. It should be over 50 for everyone. Everyone should be eating over 50% of their calories from fruit. Everyone will benefit from that. So if you eat 3,000 calories, 1,500 calories comes from fruit. What's 1,500 calories here? 2 and 1, 2, 2, 2. I don't know. Maybe that's 1,500. Maybe a little more. Probably a little more. I don't know. I didn't plan on doing that. So, but what I do is, here's how I figure out calories, and I'm way off. I go the other way too. I know I'm off because I just go, that's 100 calories. That's 100 calories. That's more than 100 calories. But I just go, that's 100. I just eat, every banana is 100 calories to me. Every apple, no matter what size, is 100 calories. I know that some apples are a little more or whatever. Every nectarine, I don't even count that as 100. If I'm counting it, I don't count anything. There's one carb. I do know that there's 1.2 carbs per cherry. So it makes me want to eat more of them. So that way I can eat more carbs and be like, all right, I'm eating more carbs now instead of eating less, like only 1 cherry at a time. I'll eat this whole bag. A few bananas, a couple apples, a couple nectarines. It's a meal, man. This thing's leaking, by the way. So anyways, before I get ants, I will talk to you later. You have yourself a wonderful day.